wonderful day. Hope your day has been lovely. Hope your day has been nice. Hope your families are all right. Welcome to another stream. Today we are going to be continuing what I was working on yesterday, which was the rendering of uh, BOICHI's artwork. What I just figured out that his rendering actually takes a lot of time. So this style of art takes a lot of time. Thanks to every single person that tuned in yesterday. Please, if you're just tuning in, please just give the video a like. If you just tune in, even if you don't want to see anything in the stream, as long as you're just looking at the stream, please just give the video a like. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. And we're going to continue with the rendering. At the end of the day, I'm just going to look at how you know what we've been able to do. Ideally, I do try to finish a stream, like an artwork in a single stream, so that the next stream begins something else. But this actually took a lot of time yesterday, just the rendering, not the art itself. So it just goes to show how different artists, because of the choices they make, it could affect the timeline of the works that they do. So yeah, that's sort of what's happening here. And because I am studying his art style, I am sort of making those decisions as well, but I'm also sort of seeing how long it takes. And it takes as long as it takes, right? Whatever your art style is. Hello Irene, how you doing? That was fast. Hope you're having a nice night. Hope the family is all right. Hope you're chilling. Were you able to see the, what do they call it now, ghost face artwork here? I think that was the day before yesterday, I believe. Yeah, hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is doing nice. I'm not going to get this rendering exactly correctly, but I'm just going to do my best to live up to his artistic integrity in terms of what he's doing here. And that's why I sort of made lines, sort of guidelines, I believe, to sort of help direct me. It's what I do a lot whenever I'm adding these cross hatches, to just help guide me, because sometimes they can be quite I can't make those curved hatches just like that. And I do want them to be accurate, so I do try to give these guidelines so that they can be consistent in the curves, so that when I turn off the guidelines, they look clean. Yeah, so I just quickly did that, I think a minute ago, so before I started the live. So that's definitely going to make me much more faster. So that's cool. So you can see how he takes his time with each stroke. Each stroke is very intentional. He genuinely wants his art to look a certain way, or his rendering to look a certain way. And to be honest, he does achieve that because his rendering technique is quite unique. The first time I saw this art, I saw it on Pinterest. I didn't know who the artist was, but whenever I saw other pages of his work, it was just consistently the same in terms of the rendering and how he details and things like that. So that's quite interesting. Hopefully I finish this quickly today. I don't know why every time, but I guess I know, because every time before I come on live, I'm just a bit sleepy. Just feel a little bit sleepy. Please, if you're just tuning in, please give the video a like. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I think I did too much there. Yeah, the thing is not aligned, but we'll just leave it at that. What's going on here? Let's see. I'm just like checking something out. Okay. Just putting something in the background, something monitoring. Please, if you're just tuning in, please just give the video a like. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate every single person that's on the stream. Some bicep vein. We're going to add some textures to the gauntlet. Oh, I see you've changed your profile picture. I just saw that now. That's cool. Thank you. That's a huge compliment on my end. Thank you for that. See that's what's his name again? Ghostface. Ghostface. Damn, Galatasaray is losing. 3-0. That's just terrible, man. That's just terrible from them. Just little scribbles around something can really like add to the texture of that thing and make it look worn and dated. Just little of that here and there. that looks all right. That looks okay. And of course, definitely because of the positioning of the biceps, there has to be some level of shadowing across this area. And we'll just try to be consistent with the detailing. Okay, guys, that's right. I've scored. That's good. What does that mean on aggregate? Osimhen. Nice. Nice. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's nice. Come on. All right, that's looking okay. Let's move on to the chest. I'm just going to, once you zoom in and actually look at it, like it just looks like there's something else that he's just doing with the texturing. And it can be quite frustrating because you might feel like you're not doing it correctly or you're probably missing something. Hmm. I don't like the way this thing is looking. Maybe I need to make these lines thicker. That looks terrible. Hmm. Let's see the two labels of rendering here, where they are the short ones that actually go like this. and then there are the long ones, which are a lot lighter, to be fair. That's looking cool. Hello Zero is lost. How are you doing? Hope you're having a nice day. Thanks for tuning in. Please, if you're just showing up, please just make sure you click on the like button. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Galatasaray has equalized. They've drawn two. That seems like a really nice game. Monaco 2-2. Hello, Mfad 2030. How are you doing? Uh, Hope you're having a nice day. Hope you're having a good day. Mm. Oh, seems Ghana qualified. Yeah, this is how it's looking so far. I think we did a good job with the rendering. Uh, I think his looks a bit more roughier, and mine might be a little bit too clean. I can't lie. Well, I think it looks all right. Uh, I just add something like this. Um, Adam, Adam, you coming here with the Spanish, man? I don't speak Spanish, bro. I thought we've had this discussion before, man. I don't speak Spanish. Okay, let me add some textures to this. Adam, maybe if you type it in English, I'll read it, but I can't. I don't speak Spanish, so I can't really answer. I don't know the question you're asking, man. Uh, because of the shape here, this is going to have to be changed. I might as well just make it. Let's see what else is on. $165, you know. Mm. Yeah, I think that's it. Mm. Yeah, I think that's it. That's good. Uh, Definitely, let's do something else. I think that's looking all right. Let me bring it closer to the screen. It was probably the most challenging study I've done. You can check it out like that. See, oh, you said, do I know you can't comment on on my on my YouTube in English? Damn. But you were commenting in English before. What happened, Adam? I'm just now seeing the message. Uh, I didn't know you couldn't. Well, just comment in Spanish and I'll translate it. We'll have Google Translate here, so I could just search what you mean and just, you know. But you were commenting in, Spanish in English before. Um, Hello, Petite Okash 9610. How are you doing? Hope you're having a nice day. Um, yeah, since we're done with this first one, that took forever, man. But I'm happy about it. I'm happy about the results. I've learned a thing or two about the art style, so that's good fun. Probably could add just a little bit more here. Sweat, I believe. That looks all right. That looks all right. Let's not detail too much. Let's not be overly, you know. Let's be grateful for what we've done, and just move to another illustration. What other illustration can I do now? Let's look. Let's look. Let's look for one. I would like to do some expressions. I think expressions would be nice. Some expressions would be nice. Let's do a lady. Let's draw a lady. This is a portrait, so this should be easy also. And now, yeah, because the way I drew this guy's face is quite similar to the way he drew like the guy's face. Like you can see generally the guys do have of course, the guys aren't wearing lipstick and makeup, so their lips aren't going to be glossy. So he just draw them like a simple flat plane, and then the eyes are quite like he has like a bit of like thick eyelashes or like eyeliners. Like it looks like the guys have like eyeliners. But like with the women, when he draws them, you can see that they have thicker eyelashes in comparison to the guys. The eyelashes are much more thicker, and like the value on their lips is different. And I think he always the detail he puts to their lips is quite different from the amount of detail he puts to the male lips. So I guess that's one distinction. And I think with the guys, the proportions can be quite even in terms of like the faces, like a traditional looking comic book art style mouth. But like if this were to be a female character that he drew over here, the eyes are going to be much more bigger than this, and the nose are going to be next to non-existent or very tiny, and the lips are also going to be very small, because of like to get that cuteness look that he's looking for, or that his art style tries to bring. So I'm just going to try and sketch that sketch. This is a really interesting expression. I really like this. I really want to do this. I'll try and do this maybe later. Let's see if we have time. He really does add a lot of details to his work, and I like the contrast. Like you can see how detailed the face is, like, and how like these are 3D objects. I'm sure it's like a 3D object that he imported and like maybe traced over it or something. Like the contrast in detail just like pops out the work. It's just so nice to see, and how simple he just makes the black coats. Yeah, I guess if you are detailing like so much, like with the skin and things like that, you definitely try to like so that everything doesn't look so rough. Because if you just apply detail to every single thing, it would look it's just you won't be able to draw like the viewers, like people to actually look at the work. So I guess that's one thing. And yeah, let me start with this. So like with all portraits, I use the Andrew Loomis style, uh, and like no matter how much portraits I do, drawing a face in three-quarter angle always gives me an issue. I won't lie, like always. So I make a lot of adjustments when I draw them. I will admit that honestly. So yeah, so the with the eyebrows, you know, and just try and get the basic facial structure and see how we can move. I will say drawing men is a lot more easier for me. Uh, but like since I like it has always been easier for me, because it's easy to draw an ugly man and get away with it and like say like okay, he's just a really tough man that has had a hard life. But when you draw an ugly woman, um, that is interesting. But plus if that fits in the character, fine and good. But if you draw an ugly woman, and especially since everybody is trying to draw pretty women, and you then try to draw a pretty woman, but then it comes out ugly, and maybe she's in like this like very feminine pose, they'll be like, "What are you doing, man?" It just because of how horrible it might look, it just doesn't, you know. Yeah, one thing I noticed, like with Yusuke Murata and like Boichi, their ladies do have like huge foreheads. Like their foreheads are like that of Rihanna's, like just a complete slab of foreheads. Um, yeah, so that's one thing I noticed uh, about their foreheads because I have tried to draw um, the way like copy their the females that they've drawn. I've tried to copy it a lot, so you know something I noticed about the way they draw. So so we have our brow line usually. Um, Usually it's good to just draw the entire head. I'm very sure I'm like making lots of mistakes already, but let's keep going and see how far it goes. I think there should be a lot. And really not long neck as well. Yeah, so let's break this down and see how we're doing. Whether we end up with an ugly girl or like a decent looking girl like he has done here. Oh, it's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. So brow line to nose line, let's say here, and nose line to mouth line, and then jaw. Okay, now let's see what we can do. So what I usually do is I put my planes of the face. Very important. Planes of the face. So whether or not you're making the nose like existent, like if the nose is going to be detailed or not, it's important to put the planes of the face. It's going to help you with the length of the facial features, like the distance between the eyes and the nose and the mouth, and other features on the face in general. um, and to know if you're making a mistake. Like here, I think I am making a bit of a mistake, so I'm going to adjust that here now. I think the nose should be higher, according to what I'm seeing here, probably. This is why I say you don't just start drawing like the anime art style, like straight ahead. You kind of have to like understand the basics first. Like things like this, simple planes like this, very important. Anyways, her expression is a bit sad. Let me just take the eyebrow line a bit higher. I'm going to take that brow line a bit higher. You have to take notes when you're drawing something like this. You kind of have to note that because it's in a three-quarter angle, and we're drawing the eyeball, so an eyeball is sort of like directing how the eyes is going to look. You do need to like understand the perspective of the eyes and the eyeball, and because it's a three-quarter angle, like the length between each eye is not going to be so even, so there has to be like an illusion of equal distance. Anyways, let me add the eyebrow, the brow line. And then the eyes. I believe that's accurate. And he usually gives them extremely huge irises. Like the irises cover virtually like 90% of the eye. The irises are huge, man. They're enormous. They're humongous. They are, but I've run out of superlatives. Like the eyes are just there. They're just a lot. And that's another thing you can use to sort of differentiate his own art. And remember the thing I said yesterday, I talked about like looking at the eyes from different angles. And, because her head is kind of tilted up, we're definitely going to be seeing like the eyelids, but he didn't really specify it here, but it's just something you kind of have to note. Um, and you kind of also have to note the curvature and the direction of the eyebrow. Just randomly thinking about what's the name of this manga that I've not finished. Forgotten. Good Night Pum Pum. Yeah, that's the name. I need to finish that manga. Very depressing story, by the way. Had to take a break. I think our eyes are very close to each other here. They shouldn't be that close. can see how small the nose is, like even the nostril. And he doesn't add a lot of detail with regards to the nose. He makes it as small as possible. And then the mouth. Let me finish the second eye. Um, you're going to see like the eyelid curves around the eyeball. So this circle here is my eyeball, just so you know. And this is how I break down every drawing that I do. And I'm quite slow at portrait drawing, I can't lie, because I always want to get it like exactly. I don't want it to look terrible. Like if you look at my portrait sketches, like when I was doing like a lot of portrait paintings, my portrait sketches were like they like took forever. And I mean I was fast, but like they did take forever to finish. Because I was always like skittish about making mistakes. Anyways, I think the eye length is quite the same. Let's see. Let me flip it. That is looking terrible. Oh my god. That is looking terrible. That is looking terrible. Look how I just flipped it and everything just looked disgusting. Nah, that's genuinely terrible. That's genuinely terrible. That's awful. I have to expand the length. That was terrible, man. I'm so ashamed of myself. Hello, Barbie doll. Welcome again. Hope you having a great day. Thanks for always like dropping by and showing love. Appreciate you. Um, Adam, you said it's a problem with chat today everywhere. Are you asking if it's a problem with chat today or everywhere? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't usually watch a lot of lives. But like the lives I was watching, because I was checking a live recently, and the live, like I was just like watching, it was a watch along, like a football watch along. And the messages there were like going through and they were in English. So everything was going through. Maybe it's just your end. I don't know. Anyways, because of how horrible this looked, now I'm a bit scared about the rest of the face. I promise you, I've done a lot of portraits and I promise you I can draw, but sometimes like portraits just throws me off. I do get them at the end of the day, but like sometimes portraits just throws me off. Um, don't worry, Adam. Just you can just send your messages and I'll just like read them through. These technicalities happen sometimes. Yeah, anyways, back to these horrible portraits that I'm doing. But at the end of the day, like once you've actually gotten it and once the portrait looks good, um, you'll be very happy. Well, we'll see. Because yeah, as I flipped that walk looked horrendous. Like her head was just like, yo, what's going on here? Anyways, let's keep going and we'll see. light seems to be coming from the left. I will fix it along the way. If we get to the inking phase and things still look terrible, we'll like make the adjustments. When I work traditionally, I do erase a lot, I can't lie. I do erase a lot, but for some weird reason, like when I do like illustrations or portraits traditionally, they just look all right. Like a sketch I did about 2 weeks ago of myself. um Let me see, it was quite all right. um like, wait, where is it? Let me show you. Yeah, I did this self portrait. I don't know if you can see this. I did self portrait like 2 weeks ago. I think it's 2 weeks ago. Or was it 3 weeks ago? I don't know. But like it was quite easy, and the resemblance was there. But I don't know when I'm like, I don't, probably because I know I can get away with making a lot of mistakes. So that just happens, I guess. Anyways, putting her eyebrows. They have really long eyebrows and thin eyebrows. I'm talking about his art style, by the way. All right, the mouth. Uh, Center line, as usual, will help us determine the, you know, positioning of the mouth. So there's that. So, and the rest of the face. So that's one technique you can use. Hopefully it helps me because I need the help. But anyways, let's draw it. Ideally, yeah, ideally, mouths are around this length, where like if you're drawing a mouth, the mouth usually ends around like the center of the eye, the middle of the eye. So, but sometimes he over exaggerates how small the mouths are. So let's just see. All right. Um, I think I made my mouth slightly bigger, but I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it that way. Unless, of course, it looks, kind of makes the face look a bit deformed. The day I do actual portrait painting on this live, it might take 2 days. No, really though, it doesn't take me that long for portraits, because once I immediately get the sketch with the art style that I use, the paintings are quite fast and quite rapid. I still do take my time because whenever I paint portraits, I do try to enjoy it as much as possible. All right, I think that's all right. Let's flip it and hope for the best. Yeah, that looks all right. That looks all right. That looks good. That looks good. Always flip your works, guys. Like, it'll tell you whether you're drawing shit or whether you're on the right track. Anyways, we're on the right track. And then the neck. You know, it's good to draw the whole head so that you can sort of, position like the features of the entire face. Um, right. And the same thing I always talk about when drawing doing figure drawings, like always remember your center lines. The same thing I did for the face, you have to do it for the rest of the body as well. Like your center line, and like with the torso, I call it the T line, where you're going to have the clavicle, which is not straight, by the way, it's curved, because it allows us to push and like pull our shoulders. That's our trapezius muscle. So yeah, very important. So the T line, this line represents the clavicle or collarbone, and this line here represents the sternum or chest bone. Yeah, so it's very important because it helps you to know where the center of the body is. So right here we're having the neck muscles. um so that's our sternocleidomastoid here. And she's a lady, so and her physique, she's telling us that she's not a bodybuilder, so her muscles aren't going to be that defined. All artists, comic book artists and stuff, like they do take notes, like whenever you're drawing like women and you actually want them to look like women, like maybe you're not drawing She-Hulk or something like that, you do have to kind of reduce the amount of hatching you use on their skin. Like if you compare the hatching I used on her, I'm going to use on her skin in comparison to that I used on the previous drawing I just finished, you're going to see that there is a lot of so you can see that bump over here. So his stuff is really anatomically accurate. So that's why I say again, it's good to know the anatomy so that you can understand why he's making that decision there. Hello Ransford, how you doing, man? I hope you're having a nice day. Hope the preparations are going all right. Thank you, Ransford. Thank you. Um, Hope the preparations are going fine. Her other arm. So you can see, because the clavicle is not straight, the clavicle isn't like this. In as much as you can simplify, like I'm talking about the chest now, in as much as you can simplify the clavicle like this, and like this would be the sternum, this would be the clavicle. Yeah, the clavicle is kind of like a bicycle seat and a pedal. I mean, it's something like this. It's curved a bit like this if you look at it. And so that is why whenever you look at it, the clavicle is just it's just coming like this, sort of like this. Like if you were to really look at it. So yeah, just take note of that whenever you're, you know, doing the drawings. Same thing over here. But he's not going to show it, of course. That looks nice. This is the next one. Of course, because of her form, the form of the clavicle, that's why whenever you see like ladies' neck, because they usually wear, or even though if you're wearing a white beater as a guy, and like you're looking at the side view, of the clavicle because of the position of the trapezius muscle and the pecs, that is the chest. The outfit usually goes, that's too much, that's too thick. The outfit usually goes like this. It's following the form of the clothes. So like if you're wearing a white beater, that is sort of how it will look. Or most times, depending on like if it's like a slender, if it's not like body hugging your, if it's not hugging your body, like it's just going to be straight like this and just have slides, and then there will probably be like a shadow. um I hope that made sense. Well, that's what's going on here though, with her clothes. These little details matter because it's actually what's going to improve your art and you know experience and all that. Yeah, let me add the hair. The hair is going to take, no, it's not really. Hair is just shapes, and once you can break the shapes down, it's going to be a lot easier for you to draw hair. So yeah, so our hairline, we're going to have to create our hairline first of all. Hairline usually like this. Yeah, something simple like that. And then to then begin adding the details of the hair. So let's start from the easy parts. Hairs are just simple shapes. You have to use that same technique when drawing the hair. Just consistent ribbon shapes. This will definitely not like be 100% accurate. But anyways, the way I look at this hair shape over here, I'm seeing it like a, how would I call it now? Like a cylinder, right? And from there I could just then separate it into like ribbons and things like that to make it a lot more easier for me. So I have to like deconstruct it into like a simple cylinder for my brain. um yeah, and then I would then break it down. Yep, that's looking good. And you can see how with a base shape like a cylinder, I've been able to like deconstruct this hair shape for my brain, this ribbon hair shape for my brain, making it a whole lot easier for me. And of course, be aware of negative space. Looks all right. Ribbon shape has been achieved. And then of course we can detail it as much as we want. This shape over here is quite interesting. That's a circle, then you could get another circle here like this. So these are simple techniques that you can use, and like if you don't like kind of concentrate, you could end up doing nonsense and making your art look unsatisfactory when you're drawing. Not as much as art is fun and can be fun, you know kind of have to. It's also hard work to a large extent, so you kind of have to be patient sometimes. Not as much as you just want to draw like that, but to make things look good, you kind of have to be patient. And I've already seen like a lot of mistakes I've made here, but to a large extent, it's looking all right. You just have to take with the good with the bad, because at the end of the day, it all depends on your skill and about being humble enough and and truthful enough with yourself to understand that I'm probably not at this level yet, or I'm not at a certain level yet, and I have to go back to the well drawing board and sort out the things that I need to improve on as an artist or someone that is learning in general. So, anyways, we've gotten the shape of that hair. All right, I think that hair side is all right. It's good. We'll probably work on it later on. Let's go to the much more complex part of the. All right, so we have this. I need to change the areas I'm using. All right. What else am I missing? All right. Then, since we have this basic shape, you can then use this shape, I think, because the hair is it's above the. I think that hair volume is too little, but we'll see. We'll make adjustments along the way. All right, so we have an interesting shape here of this hair. So we could just look at it as a curved a curved cylinder like this, like a barrel shape, um, something like this, right? So apply that. So like, if you're having trouble with hair, and of course I would say use references for hair when you're drawing. I'm 100% sure you use references for this hair that he's drawing. So if he's using references for hair, there's no excuse that you shouldn't use references for hair. And he's a top artist, so you know. Anyways, so that's sort of the shape that is going on here, that we have here. So once we have that shape, and of course we have the shape first, and it can be adjusted depending on how it's looking, if we get the right size or not. But then we're seeing another shape over here like this. Hope I don't confuse myself. How long have I been live? So I don't spend a whole eternity here. All right, it's not been that long. Maybe I'll just finish the sketch and then tomorrow I'll continue. I'll just finish the sketch maybe tomorrow. I'll finish up the work. We'll see. We'll see where the night takes us. Look at all these details matter. That is why when you're doing your character design, it's very important to, in as much as yes, drawing some characters can be difficult, and some characters have to look a certain way to give the impression that you want that character to have. Sometimes, especially with art, you kind of have to, make some decisions so that you won't spend forever drawing the character when you are actually drawing the character. Because if it's a main character and the character has all this detailing to them with their costume design and things like that, you'll be satisfied with every single panel that you do of the character, but at sometimes you just be like, oh my god, I have to draw this character's hair again, and things like that. So that's why for my characters, I try to make it well. Plus I'm quite slow at drawing, so I just make it as simple as possible. I make their hairstyle as simple as possible to draw. They are normally black characters, so they usually just have an afro or like a short hair. And for the women, I just give them braids. Um, Not always though. Like one of my main characters in my comic, she doesn't have braids. She just has like her hair is just relaxed, and then she ties it in a bun. I drew her in the Jim Lee study video. I think the way I'm going to approach this is that like my favorite characters, my favorite artists, I mean, the BOICHIs, Yusuke Muratas, guys like that, the Jim Lees. I'm going to repeat a lot of streams. I can't lie because those are the guys that influence me the most. I don't have a lot of artists that influence me actually, because usually once I figure out what I like, it's quite difficult for me to accept something else. It takes a while. It takes a while. So anyways, you're going to be seeing a lot of repetitive streams. And what I'm trying to do, I'm going to do and try to do is just I haven't done like a proper like normal YouTube video in a while. So what I'm going to try to do is that I'm going to try and like this every single thing I'm learning from these videos, like my observations and things like that. I would just put them all together, my thoughts and ideas, and I'll just make a short form content, like a five like an 8 or 15 minute video. My videos are usually long, because I really don't like editing. Editing takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time to shoot the videos and record and things like that, and then editing, plus I'm doing it alone, so I want to get out as much content as possible. So if I'm spending all my time editing, yeah, the videos might just be better, but I'm not creative enough to the point where my editing is going to make the video like 10 times better. You get what I mean? So I don't like editing, is what I like. If I could cut out the editing process, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing lives, because I don't like editing, but I want to put out content, as much content as possible. So yeah, so that's why I'm doing lives. So with a live, I'm just going to, I don't need to edit, I don't need to format anything. I just need to set up and draw, right? That is good if you have like a decent amount of subscribers, people that are showing up. And by the way, I'm grateful for every single person that shows up. From Adam to Ransford to Babidol to you know um to Irene, every single one of you, thank you for showing up every time and consistently. But like I was saying, once you just do a live, it's just like easier, and you can just draw. Plus, I'm quite shy, so this live sort of helps me get comfortable, especially if I'm just chatting with somebody, one person. Eventually, I come out of my shell and things like that. So yeah, and also it also yeah, I like doing short videos too, but uh yeah, I can't lie. I have plans for a lot of videos. I've written down about 200 to 300 videos that I want to do. A lot of them are around my like art fundamentals and my journey to get better as an artist. But I also want to do sort of like a comic book vlog and show my comics that I'm doing, the comics that I'm doing, or like my process, and probably challenge myself, because I believe that like if I were to do a vlog, I would challenge myself to put out more pages. Yeah. In as much as I have a job to do and things like that, I have to spend my time much more wisely, because I wouldn't lie, I'm not the best I don't, use my time as efficiently as I should. And so, like, trying to do like vlogs, comic book or manga, or whatever you want to call it, vlogs, that would really help me um, to check myself and be conscious of how much time I spend on something. Yeah, so it's just something random to think about. Because ideally, this is a should be a comic book channel. Like, I should talk about comics a lot. I don't talk about comics as often as I should. I usually talk about like art fundamentals and things like that, which are part of my comic making journey, in the sense that learning those fundamentals are going to make my art better. As much as I love those videos, because I get to see my improvement in real time, when I go back, I can see my improvement in real time. I also need to, you know, draw comics a lot as well. And I do draw comics. It's just I'm quite slow at it sometimes. Like, can you believe I haven't been done with my storyboarding? Like, up till now. It just pisses me off. But one thing I'm happy about is that when I'm done with my storyboarding, it's going to be a lot easier for me than this time, because uh, I've done a lot of comic book pages, both for clients, and when I work for clients, I am very fast. I'm like quite rapid, because they have a deadline, of course, and um, I need money, so I'm very fast. But when it comes to my own personal work, I'm quite slow. Uh, yeah, so I know what I need to do. My problem has always been perfection when it comes to like my own personal work. So, but I need to get the storyboarding right. So once the foundations are laid, doing the actual inking is not going to be that hard. Anyways, this hair is looking quite good. I really like it. I'm not satisfied with how tilted her face is. I think I messed that up. But let me just be true with the hair, and like I'll adjust that tomorrow. So with this part of her hair, this last hair, there's a ribbon shape here. So remember, when you're drawing hair, always remember this cylinder shape, like curly hair like this. I've forgotten what they call this type of hairstyle. I don't know anything about fashion, so yeah, bear with me. I don't know this hairstyle, but I do like it. It's where did I see hairstyle like this a lot? I don't know if anyone has watched Marvelous Miss Maisel. I think they used hairstyle like this a lot in that show. I really like that show, by the way. Marvelous Miss Maisel. Anyway, you draw your cylinder and use that to direct you. And then, and when it all comes together, it's very satisfying, especially a complex hair like this. But when you are struggling with a deadline to draw a page and things like that, it can be quite frustrating. You'll be like, I have to draw this hair again. I have to draw hair again. Things like that. So for your own sanity, just take your time to actually work on your character design. Um, and of course, the way your character does their hair, so it also affects their personality, tells a lot about the character. Whether the character cares a lot about how they look and things like that. Um, Very nice shape. Look at that. Look at that fold. And just a simple shape like this, I've been able to get the hair. So simple shapes is the key to everything in art, man. It's the key to everything. By the way, I'm dreading the day that I do perspectives. Like, perspective is like my biggest weakness in art as an artist. Perspectives, like, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also frustrated. It's something that gives even like top artists issues. like really seasoned artists, they do have issues with perspective. It's not like they don't figure it out. It's the same way I have issues with like drawing my face, like drawing with this face. I mean, it's the same way they would have. You would think they could just like easily just draw in perspective like that, but nope. Anyways, I'm going to stop the sketch here, and tomorrow I'm going to continue. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a nice night. I'm going to end the stream here. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to ink it, but I hope you liked the drawing. I was able to finish this, so I'm very happy about that. Very happy about this. The head could be bigger. I can't lie. The head could be bigger. And this is the sketch. Let me bring it closer to the screen. Hope you guys can see it. All right. All right. See you tomorrow. Have a nice night.